Hey guys, DVSGames here. Welcome to another video. So I'm kind of at a loss here. Uh, my Vice Guild leader actually recommended that I make this video, and I'm not exactly sure how to go about it. I've said many times before in the past that I'm not a PvP player. I try to stay away from RTA. I typically just do enough so that I can buy some of those things out of the shop, like, some scrolls. As of right now, I've only bought the mysticals, but I buy the scrolls, I buy the LD pieces, and that's about it. But due to his encouragement and my guild leader's encouragement, both Kyle and Zeus respectively, thank you guys, I do appreciate it. They did give me some confidence to go ahead and jump into RTA and actually try. So if you look at my records in the past, I've stayed in F3. Everybody knows there's a problem with F3. There's lots of higher level players that are farming down in the lower levels, and I couldn't get past it. So I just kind of stayed there. I got my points, I did my battles, and I bought my scrolls, and that was it. But they did both help me out with some of the mons that I had. I did have a typical plan going into the season. They kind of put it in my head that maybe I could get C1. So just real quick, if you guys take a look, in my particular replays, I have stayed at the upper end of F3, all the way down to, I think it was a 1321 is the lowest I got, and I was able to climb back up. So real quick, thank you to my guildmates. I really appreciate it. They did give me some confidence, and that is something I'm very thankful for. So from the beginning of the season, my comp is, it looks like a turn 1 comp, but it's a turn 2 comp. I know that I don't have the speed to keep up with people. So I pick a lot of turn 1 monsters, but they're built super tanky and they're actually meant to go on turn 2. So that was my plan going in. I was going to make you think I was taking a turn 1 comp, and then you would be baited into banning out my speed lead, which is more typically, and it would end up being all my monsters are on will and they're all ready to take second turn. This team in particular, you saw that I brought out the Wind Demon in it. It was actually a really bad pick, simply because of the fact that my Wind Demon doesn't even have a full set of runes. But if you go through here, the comp eventually over time, it got a little bit of changes in it. The typical picks were more Savannah, Praha, Belinus, and Fran. Those were my 5 picks that I wanted to get every time. And basically that's all I went for. You would think that the team was going to go first, so you banned out the more. Everything was on will. I was able to strip, defense break, attack buff, and then nuke out the team. So I was able to go ahead and stay up in the upper end of F3. And then, as I said, my guildmates, they got into my head a little bit, and they said, hey, why don't you go for C1? So I've been doing a few wings a day. I don't have the mental capacity to do all 30 wings every day. But 2 pieces of advice was given to me. Number 1, my guild leader Kyle told me, just do 3 wings a day, and whatever you get at the end of the day, that's what you get. Which was, I was like, okay, I can do 3 wings a day, that's not a problem. And then with those results, sometimes I was winning 1 and losing 2, and it wasn't a very a successful day, and I'd feel kind of bad. So of course you want to hit a couple more times. And then my vice guild leader Zeus told me he typically goes until he loses 1. So it could be 5 wings in one day, or it could be 15 wings in one day. But I was like, okay, that I can kind of mold with. So on a day I don't really want to do any, I'll just do 3. On a day I kind of want to climb a little bit or try to get some more experience playing the game, I'll do, I'll go until I lose 1 or 2 or 2 in a row. I have a bad habit of tilting, and then I'll go into matches that I shouldn't go into, and I'll pick things I shouldn't pick. But yeah, so I kind of molded both of those ideas together, and I was like, okay, that'll be alright. I can definitely do that. As you can see here, guys, I'm just climbing up. I did make my box a lot smaller than it used to be. It used to just have so many things in it. I do have, as I said, my core 5 units, and then I've got a few different things I can pick in case I want to try to change it around. As you can see, it's typically going to be more Belinus, either Chungpung or Savannah, and thanks to the input from my guildmates, I happen to have the Wind Robo, and I was told put him on Swift, give him decent accuracy, make him go first. So I typically don't like playing turn 1 because I don't think I'm fast enough, but I went ahead and started doing that, and it's been working out pretty good. Can't complain about it. Can't say that it isn't going well. But then I was having issues where I couldn't finish the matches because I was very hesitant in getting rid of Fran as my healer. I typically use Fran as a healer, and I use Praha as a second healer / control unit because she has a sleep. But it didn't always work like it should. Here, as you can see, I brought out the Tessarion because I figured the Oblivion would be a big help. And obviously they banned the Tessarion because that would definitely hurt their chances of winning. So it allowed me to have the core mons that I really like to have, and just based on that alone, it allows my team to go forward and win. So that was cool. As I go ahead and I started climbing up though, I believe that was, nope, that was this match. Yeah, that was that match. Alright, so as I started climbing up, I started taking on some different matches. This guy, I thought it was really cool. He has an all-light team. But see here, I said, okay, he's got 2 speed leads. I'll go ahead and try to take first turn. Then I was like, oh, okay, he's going nukes. I'll go Leo. And obviously the Leo was something that scared him because he was trying to go first. I don't think he realized how fast I was. And the Robo was actually really amazing. I'm very glad that I was convinced to build him. Still missing a few skill ups, but hopefully we'll get those sooner rather than later. And again, the team, it works out well. So as of right now, the way it currently sits, the team is basically it's Belinus, Chungpung, and those are the first 3, or no, the 4, Belinus, Chungpung. Then I use Savannah as a pick in there. I'll use Tessarion as in case I happen to see a lot of passives, and a lot of times people will take that away from me. But I also use Praha. I use Tableau as a secondary speed lead in case I think that they're going to try to stop me from getting it. If I feel like they're going to be banning out my Moor, I'll go ahead and pick Tableau in there. And my Tableau is actually not very well built, but it does scare people, and sometimes they'll just ban him out automatically. I really need to actually look into getting him built specifically for this comp. But here you can see they take double fire, so I bring in Vrad. And they actually ban out my Robo, which I think I'm okay with that. I mean, I really don't have a choice anymore. They already took it, right? But the Vrad was actually recommended to me by Kyle because he looked at my box and he says, "Hey, you have a really good mon here that you can use. Why aren't you using him?" So he gave me a quick little crash course on how to build him up, and I said, "All right, we're gonna go ahead and do that." Now here, as you can see, we're just 2 wind versus 2 water. Should be a bad thing, right? all I gotta do though now is get the Savannah off of her mount, and she can't take out more. I think, right? I think that's how it works. So I mean, I thought that was the evolution of my teams has been slightly better. I believe that was this one. Yeah. So now in this one, I believe I climbed all the way up to 1421. I thought that was kind of cool. And then I think from here I go on a little bit of a losing streak. I ended up doing 20 some wins today, and that's a lot more than I ever do usually. But I mean, it was, in my opinion, I thought it was pretty good. Now, as I said, what you're seeing today is, I think, everything that I've done today. So they're not all wins, by the way. I really wish they were, but they're not. Very inexperienced facing Shizuka's. I know I don't like her on the field. I know I can't stand Oliver. I don't like him. And Verd. People are running Swift Verds nowadays, apparently. And I tend to have problems with him as well, even though my team is mainly... basically, it's mainly water-based. But yeah, there was a loss, and I believe that actually set me on a downward spiral. I think I ended up losing like 4 in a row after that. But yeah, so real quick, I'm sorry guys. I know this is a very long, very rambly video, and I don't think this is what it should be. I think that when I was asked to do this, I think Zeus just really wanted to see my thought process of it. Because he's very PvP oriented. He loves RTA, and I don't get it. But obviously he's a really good player. He does really well. But he wanted me to do better, so he started coaching me a little bit. He walked me through some things, and I'm doing a little better, which is great. But again, I have problems with certain things, and see, like, this is already a loss. I should have just quit, but I think I was getting mad, so I just stayed there, and I kind of drug it out. Sorry, Dustworn, if you're watching this, I really didn't mean to. I was just a little upset with myself. And then here, another Chinese guild. I mean, it is what it is. Or not a Chinese guild, a Chinese player. And of course he has a cute little dog picture, so obviously, you know, you can't really hate him that much. But see, okay, so here I use Varus as a pick. For those of you that don't know, Varus has a very consistent turn 1 or skill 1 stun. So I have him on double revenge will. And see here, obviously the right ban would have been Juno, because it doesn't matter how many debuffs I get on there, I can't control her, and she just keeps healing back up. Then the Bellio heals up as well, and I can't beat this team. So again, see, at this point I already knew, okay, this is a loss. Why am I still going with it? And yet I'm still trying to fight it. And I know it's a loss. I'm well aware that it's a loss. So yeah. Anyway, let me see, what was that? That was there. So yeah, I think here I go into, I think this is a win for me. But again, as you can see, my team still hasn't really changed. I'm going into a cleave here. I know I'm going into a cleave, so I take a second speed option, and he bans a speed option. He bans a tableau. Like I said, the tableau is not really built well. I know it's not speed tuned. But here again, I could not do the cleave, so I lost. And of course, at this point, I've started dropping quite a bit. So I think I'm still trying to figure out how do I work against certain things. So here she takes my Chongpong. That's fine. I go with a little bit more wind, a little bit more fire, and I bring in Varad. So this is a bomb comp. I recently pulled John. I wanted to see how this was going to play out. I want to know how it works. And here, as you can see, doesn't work out well for me. And obviously it's because of the Douglas. The Douglas does a lot of bad things to me, and I can't get past it. But I was really hoping that maybe I could control long enough to get this to work, but again, it doesn't. So again, this is a learning process. I'm trying to figure out how does this work. Again, you see, I lost. I knew I lost. I should have just let it go. So I dropped all the way back down to 1378. I start trying to. I'm still going though. I've taken a few losses in a row. Wind Monkey, since his buff, I've been seeing him a lot too. And of course, it's kind of scary. So here you can see that there's multiple passives. I bring out the Tessarion early, and it gets banned out, so it leaves me with a team that I'm okay with. Granted, I wish I had a better way to deal with that Leica, because obviously the Leica is going to cause a lot of problems for me. But I can deal with it through the constant dots, and then once it's just Riley, it's not a problem. I can control and then I can dot the rest. So that's not horrible. And then here is my final match of the day. After this one, I kind of just called it quits. I was getting a headache. I didn't want to keep going. I think I end up on a win here. But see, he banned out my speed lead, so I take an HP lead. And right off the bat, I just lose. I lose Chongpong because he's more of an attacker than a tanky build. But here I can go 3-on-1. And I think with this, I'm okay with the fight at this point. Which, of course, I'm about to live to regret, because Dominic is annoying as hell. And super OP, because he's just awesome. And I want one too. There's a lot of monsters I want. But luckily my Savannah Bio procs into the win. And yeah, so that's where I ended up at. I'm currently sitting at 1400. I'm within reaching distance of C2. But aside from that, let's go ahead and just take a look at the mons that I typically use. This is the Moor. He's got plus 1400 HP, plus 450 defense. He's built up to 249, almost 250. And he's on Despair Will. He's got speed, HP, and attack. And here's his 1, 3, and 5. He's got some additional HP here, some skill 2 accuracy, skill 2 crit damage, skill 1 accuracy for the attack break. Got crit rate up effect, which does nothing. Co-op damage, again, does nothing. But the damage taken from wind here is something that I wanted. Typically I follow him up with Changpong, who is, again, as I said, he's more of a nuke build. He has very little sustainability. Is at 206. And he's on Despair Will as well. And he's on speed, crit damage, and attack. Oh wow, I didn't even finish maxing runes. So 1, 3, and 5 are not maxed. So we can definitely get a few more stats here. Artifacts aren't maxed either. Skill 2 accuracy, 23%. Very helpful for his strip. And crit damage as well. And then here again, he's got co-op damage, which does no good. A little bit of damage done by speed, and a little bit less damage taken by wind. But as you can see with the Dominic, it didn't matter. After him, I'll typically also follow up with Belinus, who is he's a defense monster, so he's running at 206 as well, but he's got a little bit lower base speed than CP. So then Changpong, so I can definitely use him. He'll run right after him. And here we've got him on speed, crit damage, and defense. We got his 1, 3, and 5 looking like so. And we got some additional HP here with skill 3 crit damage, skill 2 accuracy. And then we've got more HP here with a little bit of less damage taken from water, a little bit of additional damage dealt by HP and defense. So typically there's my first 3 monsters. After that, I'll usually follow it up with Savannah, who is, again, she's scheduled, or she's at 190, so she'll go right after my Changpong, or right after my Praha, because my Praha's, typically it depends on who gets taken in, but Changpong will come out, he'll be my stripper, then it'll be, the Savannah, the Bellatrix will go next, and then the Savannah. She is on Violent Will, and she's on HP, attack, defense. I know, it's kind of odd, but these are the stats that work for me. I got some pretty decent HP and attack subs here. Decent HP sub here, and I can work on that. You know, can grind the speed, can grind the attack. We got skill 3 accuracy here, skill 3 crit damage as well. Her defense goes up as she loses HP. And here I've got additional damage, or damage taken from wind lowered, and damage taken from fire. And again, as I said, as her HP goes down, her attack goes up. And as you can see, she's at about 30,000 HP, so definitely kind of survivable. The Praha is another monster that I use regularly. She's on Violent Will, and she's on speed, defense, HP. Can definitely grind all of these runes. They're currently just where they're at because that's where I kind of need them. Now her artifacts are not the best. Again, they're not maxed. First off, she has additional damage by speed, additional damage by attack, and a little bit less crit damage taken. And here she's got minus damage from wind, and that's it basically. But she's again at about 26,000 HP, almost 27, and she's at almost 1,500 defense. My Fran I use a lot. She's at 30,000 HP, almost 1,000 defense, 257 speed, and she's on Violent Will as well. She's on speed. I think she's actually on probably my best set of Violent Will. She's got attack subs for heals, lots of speed, lots of HP, defense, accuracy. I think that what she doesn't have is a lot of resistance. But still, some room for improvement. There's a defense percentage that could be grinded. We got some additional attack here with skill 3 recovery, additional damage by speed, and additional damage by HP, and some crit damage on her. If she's able to crit, she'll deal a little bit more damage by speed. And I mean, that's my friend. I really have her ruined well, but I could probably move her runes to someone else and they'd probably do a lot better. The Robo I used as well, and he's at 295 with 95% accuracy. Doesn't have a lot of attack, doesn't have a lot of HP, doesn't have a lot of defense. I could definitely use some work there. I did mention she was missing some skill ups. His skill 2 needs some, but I got really lucky. I hit skill 3 right off the bat, and then the rest have been working to get them as they come in. And he's on swift accuracy. So got him on speed, HP, and accuracy, mainly because of the 29 speed here. 1, 3, and 5 look like so. Again, 26 speed. Nice that it makes a full set. But here he's got skill 3 accuracy plus 7, so he's well over 100%. And here we got a little bit of additional damage from attack, damage dealt on wind, no big deal. I did tell you guys that in the very beginning that my wind demon was actually not correctly ruined. I'm missing a will rune, and he's on HP crit damage, nothing. But I believe he's supposed to be on HP crit damage attack, because everything else looks pretty much in line. But, you know, definitely needs to be runed up. My Leo is nothing special. He's on Vampire Blade. Just attack, crit damage, HP. 1, 3, and 5 look like so. And it's got some additional life drain in this one. And, you know, additional damage by speed, very important on the Leo. We know this. No, I'm just kidding, guys. He's got this one for the damage taken from fire. It's just a little bit of mitigation there. I do have a Kinky. I don't really use him very well or very often. He just doesn't deal enough damage for me. I don't like it. His resistance is super high. He's on Violent Endure. About 1,000 defense, 25 or 35,000 HP. But he's on speed, HP, attack. And his 1, 3, and 5 look like so. He's got skill 1 accuracy here. I really wish the other subs were better. And then here he's got additional damage by attack, additional damage by defense, additional damage by HP. So, I mean, he's a good unit. I have seen his potential. I just don't find where I can use him very well. And then one of my favorite monsters to bring out is this Varus. Again, people have asked me why do I bring him out, and I built him a long time ago, and I really liked him, so I just still use him every now and then. But as you can see, he's got 22,000 HP, 2,100 defense, and he's not very fast. He's only 170. He's got 92% crit rate, 155 crit damage, and low amount of accuracy. But the skill 1 attacks and it stuns if it lands as a critical hit, and the damage is increases according to your speed, so he's not going to deal a whole lot of damage, but he's going to be consistently stunning. And then he's got Body Slam, which deals the defense break and the attack break. And the fact that he is on double revenge means that he does revenge a lot more than you would probably expect. I can still work on his grinds and runes here. As you can see, he's on defense, crit damage, and defense. Will, or 1, 3, and 5 look like so. I can grind everything up and make him a little bit better. But see here, he's got skill 1 crit damage, which works a lot with the revenge. He does hit a lot. He hits surprisingly hard. A lot of people, when they actually have seen him do things, they kind of freak out. I got a couple of friends, they really don't like him. But yeah, so this is my box, guys. This is my plan going forward. I'm gonna go ahead and try to stay in C1. I'm gonna actually try to push for C2, but I do really feel like I'm at the very end of what I'm able to do. See what that rolls. I'm sorry, guys, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so this is pretty much my goal. I'm gonna try to stay in high C1. I want to try to push in for C2. As of right now, I'm about 8,300 points away, so that's about, in my experience, that's about 3 matches, maybe 4. Between 3 and 4 matches, if I win, I'll be able to get it. But then how long will I stay there before I decay out? I don't know. But that might be what I go with. As you can see, I've been a lot more active this time around than I have in the past. I'm over the 50% win rate, so I think that's a good thing. I'm sorry, guys, this has been a really long video. I don't even know really the context of what I'm speaking about, because I told you, I've said it in the past, I'm not a PvP person. I'm more of a PvE person. But this is something that I really do appreciate my guildmates making me want to do. So thanks a lot, guys. With that, I'm going to go and leave it. You guys have a good one. If you stayed till this point, I really appreciate it. And if you're not, please like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.